and running. Good to see, good to see. Good to see, good to see. And it's like, honestly, it looks like I had my microphone turned off earlier, and I do apologize for all of that. So, apologies for anybody who did not hear me whatsoever. Anyways, I'll get right to the point since we missed probably about 10-15 minutes of what was going on. My name is Ted. I am a smart money strategist. What does that mean? That means that people that basically trade based upon retail theory. You're taught, price is random, that once it gets to a certain point, that you've seen in the previous past, it's probably going to buy or sell at that same point. Things like that. Here we study a lot of candlestick movements, and we also understand where the dumb money is. So if we understand that people are probably trying to sell someplace, we're probably going to be trying to buy someplace. If we understand people are trying to be buy someplace, we're going to try to be sell someplace. So we do things a little bit differently around here. And if you do like things different, and you want to learn things a little bit differently, rather than just the typical trend line stuff or your typical indicators that are going to promise you the world instead, and teach yourself how to be your own indicator. I have taught myself how to be my own indicator, and it is awesome. I use 2 indicators, and that's only if I really need to use. Other than that, I really don't have to use it. So if you're that type of person that wants to learn and know how to be your own signal, I'd like you to do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this with your friends. Even just hitting the like button will let people know that I am out there. You share it with your friends, it'll let people know I'm out there, that there's somebody out there different. There's quite a few people probably teaching the same kind of thing. It's based upon, I guess you could say, the inner circle trader model, or the Wyckoff theory, things like that. I do mine just a little bit different, and I try to incorporate my own style into it. And that being said, let's go ahead and let's just head on over to the charts, and let's see what we got going on over on the charts here. That being said, since I went ahead and just kind of jumped into this, one thing I forgot to do was actually set up the music browser. Not really set it up, but I did set it up. I just don't know where it is right now. Not showing the music in the playlist. That is disheartening. So we may have to be out music for a second. Epidemic sounds. Got music playlist. Get something else and look at epidemic sounds. See what up. It did not. Okay, never mind. We're just gonna have to speed through it without it anyway. So Ethereum. What happened with Ethereum today? So, considering, and I didn't know this, like I said, what I wanted to do, especially with it being non-farm payroll Friday, I didn't want to trade any kind of Forex, because Forex will just give you the most random kind of algorithm whatsoever, and you can probably make some decent money off a non-farm payroll, who knows, but more than likely what's going to happen is it could backfire on you, and I just don't like trading on. So what I did is I wanted to do indexes, and if we looked at the indices, especially at the SPX, this is what I was expecting to happen, especially right around here. Well, 2 in the morning, you know, had a little pump, you know, from uh, the the London session, and then kind of hung around a little bit, and then we got news from the NFP as well. And as soon as we got news from FP, boom, it pumped as well. And this was, we get down to the 15 minutes of it. Is this is my time, Central Time. You can see UTC4. Actually, no, this is New York time. UTC4 8:45. Yeah, this makes sense. It pumped up right before the bell opened on the CFDs. So as soon as the bell was about to open, it didn't open. There was no trading today, and I didn't know that until I was sitting here waiting for things to come back down and be like, wait, what's going on? I'm waiting for a trade to happen, because I was waiting for this to actually either dip back down into here and then pull back up, right, or continue on and then just kind of make like a small, like little you know, curve, I guess you could say, curvature, and then until it hit till about here and then pop back up back. That's what I was expecting from SPX today. And the thing was, is I was actually in a sell as this was going on, and it just decided to stop on me. So I am still currently in a sell, and I'll be in a sell over the week. But enough of that. The main thing here that happened today was of course Evan on. I don't think I'm on. I am on, never mind. Okay, it just took me a minute to find it. I was like, wait, where am I at? I have like 4 windows open and I'm trying to figure out where I am right now. Okay, so yeah, we're on. So, what happened with not Bitcoin, hello, what happened with Ethereum? So, around this morning, around this time, whenever I realized things were not going to be going as planned for SPX, I started looking toward Ethereum. And the reason I started looking toward Ethereum was because one, we had already broken quite a few highs, right? And the next high that we had to break was the all-time high. So I was looking at breaking that. And I knew that liquidity was resting above it because either people were waiting for it to get back up to that point and then trying to sell short, or they would have their buy stops and trying to go long. I would think most people, especially the way that you know, it had been behaving, is that people would trying to go short on this. So my intention was to go long, and I probably should have put this out in my group, my Telegram group. Say, hey, start scalping. The only thing that I don't like saying, hey, start scalping, you know, Ethereum, is that whenever you put an Ethereum trade in on MT4, you're already $4 behind. You know, you're already, as to where if you were to do it on like, you know, SPX, you're only $1 behind. If you were to do it on, you know, NASDAQ, you're only about $2.50 behind, something like that. But if you're on Ethereum, you're $4 behind. If you're on Bitcoin, you are $7 behind. So you have quite you better be able to know that you are going in the right direction before you can even start making some money, right? So what I did is I did take some trades, and here's what I did. I did take some scalps. Let me get here. I got $1.85 out of one. Got about 78 cents on another one. I let one go for a little bit, and I got about 4.50 out of one. 57 cents out of another, about $1.60 out of one, and about a 63 out of one. And I'm using 0.01s. I wasn't trying to go crazy. I wasn't trying to break the bank. I was just trying to make a little bit, to get a little bit here and there, trying to get at least 6% a day. I made 7.8%. I can't complain about that. So my 100 to $1,000 challenge is going back again. We're back on track with that for sure. And now one of the reasons why I called a lot of the longs that I did is I would wait for it to pull back. I would wait for it to pull back and then buy, because I knew it was going to buy, right? Because of all the liquidity being above. Now the worst part about all of this is that I was actually in a buy right around in this area, and I had actually taken profit. And I had taken profit just because I was afraid it was going to pull back a little bit more, and then I was going to be able to get a better buy, and then all of a sudden it took off, and then I was like, and I was just telling myself, oh man, I hung on a little bit longer just so I could have got that buy. But now here's the thing. Now that we know that Ethereum has broken the high, now the question is it going to stay above this high? Is it going to stay in this zone, right? Is it going to stay above here, and then maybe Bitcoin did with the whole Tesla move? I'm not for sure what the reasoning was for Ethereum to be breaking all this stuff. Maybe if I go back to the news, maybe we can find some fun about it. Something. All right, so let's head on over to the news department here. Why is it still showing breaks? Completely up. I have way too many windows open. Okay, here we go. Here's Forex Fact. The Forex Fact. Down to the bottom, there is a thing called this button here, CryptoCraft. CryptoCraft kind of gives you the news of the day. Kind of gives you some advice from some analysts, some news, some things like that. So you can always come to CryptoCraft to see what's going on. That could be causing. Basically, everything else is just broke all-time highs, and there's really no reasoning as to going on. Now, to me, the reasoning is just because It's price action. It's just the way it is, right? It's price action. And so if we go back to Ethereum, and what I want to do is, before we break the all-time high, right? See, this red line here I have as the all-time high, which is, click on it, there we go, coordinates. That's a fib retracement. That's that. Why is that still a fib retracement? I no idea. Nowhere near a fib, right? Why? On a fib? Guess I'm on an upside down fib. Okay. So either way, I'm on a fib, so I'll figure it out, because it'll be one of coordinates. It'll be the top one, so it would be 2041. So 2041 was the previous high that we had before that. So we're that over. This over instead. So too far over. So before we break this high, right? So we had this huge, I mean, I wouldn't say huge, but we did have a big green block that went all the way up, right? So you want to go from the lowest low, right, to pretty much the highest high, right, before it did decide to, to make a small break back. When it did decide to come back to the break back, it only hit 50%, which is fine. Now the reason it only hit 50% was probably because of there it is, to a fib between the fair value gap. You go in between, it didn't come down and touch the 50. So it basically went about halfway between this huge candle, which is what you would expect. Almost, you'd always expect about a 50% retracement. Almost a 50% retracement if you're going to get a candle that large, right? So, which is good news. So after that, it took off again, and then, and I'm leaving. Oops, I actually deleted the wrong one. Go to the bottom here. We're gonna go to top here. Now the question is that where are we gonna go from here? And I keep seeing people say, oh, we're gonna go to 2,500. We're gonna go to 3,000. We're gonna go to 4,000. I mean, I still think we're going to see some pretty good bullish movement out of this, only because we're going to continue to see people try to catch the top of this and try to see if they can't try to find a big move down, find a lot of dumb money, trying to catch the top of this and trying to make dollars on down. And right here, you probably did catch a little bit. And again, it stopped right here. And why did it stop right here, right? So it stopped right here, as you can see. And right at the 100 spot, and there was one teacher I used to have who used to say, it's the USB symbol. Goes from here, it goes here, and then boom, right here, and then it takes off. Without giving any kind of context as to why it would be doing it. And now we know, and for me, going through what I've been going through, now I know why. What you have, right, is you have a low, a high, and then you have a higher, well, I say you have a low, a high, and you have a higher low, right? Meaning the high is actually your mitigation block. So if you have a mitigation block, sitting here If you draw all the way across, and especially if you have, almost any time you have one of these, most of the time you're gonna have, it being kind of acting as resistance, and then but once you get the one candle that breaks through, and you will get that one candle that breaks through, all of a sudden it turns support, and that's what happened. Had nothing to do with it being the 100%. Hadn't, or at least I call it the 100%, the 0% of the Fibonacci. Could have happened anywhere, but that's what happened. It came back up, it came back down, it touched that level. As soon as it touched that level, now it's going back up, and now it continues rising. Now, to me, my prediction, where am I looking at? I'm looking at right here. I'm looking at around 2300. The reason I'm looking at 2300 is because, to me, it just seems like that's where we should be hit. I really have no other good explanation other than that's where we should be hit. We're not going to be going to 2500, 3000, thing like that. Should be getting pretty good, decent jump on things, but we shouldn't be going over the moon, especially with Ethereum, fees, EIP, Ethereum improvement project can break through. That's what's probably going to cause Ethereum. You start making, you can see it's starting to make its way down a little, but as far as Ethereum goes, starting to see some good movement, finally some good movement that we haven't seen in a while. Is it going to get below the high that previously made? Yeah, more than likely. Of course we are. I would be honest, I would love to see it get back down to about 1840, just so I can add more money in, and and so we can ride the wave even longer. But I'm thinking right here, right around 2300, only because it is let's say the 227% extension. I would say 200 is a little bit more obvious, and I think that's what people are going to be looking. I think this is more like a 300%, because right here would be 200. Well, actually, I think I'm right. This would be, yeah. This would be the 100%. This would be the 200%. I think the 200% would be a little bit too obvious, and I think it'd probably just get a little bit ahead of that, 220%, before we really start seeing any kind of downward. Now, how long is that going to take? I don't know. It could take up into mid next week, late next week, but we should start seeing some price action. That being said, let's just go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. Now, right now I'm looking at the monthly at Bitcoin. I got all these notes and not in here, just because Bitcoin has just been going on a rampage throughout. If we get onto the 5-minute, this is what I like to do. Love the 5-minute chart. It gives me a lot of information. A lot of people think it's just noise. I think you can read a lot when it comes to 5-minute chart. Here, yeah, as you can see, I have breakers that I have marked from way back over here. They're just now getting into down here with me, that way I get out of. auto space here. All right, so and this is back when it was this is back when it was making its last previous highs. All right, so it was back when it was making its last previous highs. There's some odd movement back here that caused some breakers. And what I mean by caused some breakers mean we were having some here we go. Here you have a low, you know, to a high, to a lower high, right? So there you go. There's your breaker, not mitigation. That would be. So you would look for your uppermost candle, right? And then you would look, you know, look across. And then here on the opposite side, you would have a high, a low, and then a lower high. So now here on this side, you have a mitigation. So now you have a mitigation and a breaker both overlapping each other. So it's just going to depend. And so, you know, as you can see, it got up inside these areas. It's, like I said, whenever it comes to breakers and mitigations, usually act at resistance up until you can break past it. It will break past it at one point. I think it may have. It hasn't recently. I don't think it has, but we're getting near there. We are getting near there, and looks like now that we have seen the drops back into these these fair value gaps and whatnot, and you can kind of see it push up. What's it do? It's the bottom of that that breaker, and it, you know, it pulls off a little bit, comes back into this it's a mitigation block, and whenever you see it get into a mitigation block, you want to see it get to the bottom. Whenever you want to see it get to the bottom, that usually means it's going to start coming back up. So that's what's happening here. You get to the bottom of this mitigation block, you're starting to see it rise again, right? So here's the thing. Look at this. You have, I don't have those. Look, you have all this right here. All this right here. It has all equal highs. This just tells me that Bitcoin is just going to go right through these highs. And I have a feeling it's probably going to go right through this breaker finally. And then finally break this all-time high. I mean, if Ethereum is breaking the all-time highs, I don't think Bitcoin is going to be far behind. So that being said, you know, where would Bitcoin go from now? Well, let's just take a look. You know, of course, I'm a fan of Fibonacci's. I think they're going to tell us, especially the extensions, they tell us a lot about what's going on. You know, what can be done. We're at the 5 minutes. Since we're at the 5 minute, I don't like looking at the wicks on the 5 minute, because wicks can be anything, right? So this lowest point here, you know, the most recent lowest point here did get to here. As you can see, it did. You can see right here you have a liquidity point, right? So you do have a liquidity point that did get broken. So this tells me that we are on the bullish side of things. So otherwise it wouldn't have broke that liquidity point. So since we did break that liquidity point, even though it did fall back underneath it, doesn't matter. We still broke it, which means we're still aiming for other higher liquidity points. Look, we have equal highs right here. And even though it's a 5-minute chart, on the 4-hour chart, that's probably one big spike. It doesn't matter. It's still a liquidity point. We're still going to be looking at aiming for areas like that. And the thing is that the way the fib is laid out right now, if we're looking at 127%, where's that at? Right above those highs. If these fibs don't lie, fibs will tell you exactly where they're going to. So the fib of 127%, if you don't know how to lay out your fibs, I'll tell you how to lay them out. You see them over here at your 100, right? Especially if you're feeling very spicy, trying to get in on a very good, very low level. 88.6 would be your next level. 79 would be the next level. 70.5 would be the next level. Of course, your main 62, right? That is about a third way through. That's like your safe area if you ever want to get into a trade, right? But if you're really trying to get into a trade that going to be, you know, you're trying to get more out of your trade than anything. And what some people do, what I've noticed what some people do is they'll put, you know, maybe like, you know, 5% at, you know, 62%, and then 10% here, and then, you know, 20% here, and then 30% here. That way, in case it ever does get down to this point, you know, they've got all this lined up. That way, when it does take off, you know, they're in a good position to, you know, make some good money on that sides. Now the question is, another question is, you know, right here, why would, you know, it come down here and then stop here and then go back up the other way? Well, you can already see right here that there are order blocks. You know, since it did break a high, right? The next thing you're going to be looking at is that where is the last time the area went down before it went back up. Those are the areas that you're going to look for, because those are where the rich people push the money down, right, before they bought, and then bought up really high and then took their profits, and then now they're making it go back down to where it was before, to dropped all the money, and then that way they can just exit the trade wherever they dropped all the money last time, and now they're even, right? So so that's why I would end at some area like this, and it wouldn't just be some kind of random, you know, some kind of random, whatever you would call it. I don't even know the word, because I don't even use it half the time. Trend line, you know, trend lines are not random. Trend lines are basically the product of price action that has been happening throughout this entire time. So that being said, I have a feeling that now we're going to see Bitcoin probably going to end up being somewhere around here, around around 59,700, and then hopefully higher after that. But this is going to be my next target that I'm going to be looking at, is going to be this 127%, this 59.6, and then we'll see if we make it there. Let's see if there's any other cryptos that oh yeah, the one crypto I was talking about. So I was on Hydra. So KuCoin. I don't know if you guys know anything about KuCoin, my buddy was telling me about KuCoin, and he was telling me that there is a staking system. Don't know what staking is. It's basically replacing, if you think about the traditional banking system. It's basically taking money and then saying, hey, we're going to put this money into account for you, and then we're going to make sure that it grows annually, APY annually. And the thing is that with these is that you get paid out. I know with my Kraken one, I get paid out with every 2 weeks. I heard with these, they get paid out almost every 2 days or every 4 hours, things like that. So here on KuCoin, what I was able to find, I'm not for sure if I'm able to find it here because I found it on the app quicker than I was on the website. The website is a little bit different. It's harder for me. Hey, I'm not used to it. But you have your main account, trading account, margin account, your account, all that stuff. Of course, orders, all that good stuff. I'm trying to find now. Full X, here we go. Here, I'll see if I can pull myself off the screen that way. And I didn't realize it. We haven't even been looking at my screen. I'm sorry, guys. We haven't even been looking at the screen that I have been wanting to look at. I should use I should probably use the studio version more than the other version than anything, but sorry about that. But we'll go ahead and take a look at the pullback staking. The pullback staking has all these different basically ways you can stake, right? Right now Hydra is the highest one, right? We have 185%. I thought it was 183. It's at 185.61%. Reference annual yield, maximum staking amount, if you have 10,000 Hydra, right? You have to have a minimum of at least 10 Hydra. Redemption period 1 day. So after 1 day is when you start earning your rewards, right? So this is insane, right? This right here, if I were you guys, I'd be jumping on this like no other. And the reason I'd be jumping on it like no other is because here, let's go to let's go to the charts. And this is when they just announced it, right? So Hydra's been kind of around for a little bit. Not, it's been known, but it's kind of here. Let's find some good information on it when it go to the looking for okay, so as you can see, I mean, this is back in March of earlier this year. It was just $6, right? And it's been going up, and then all of a sudden the release that they're going to be doing 180 something percent staking, boom, it shot up like no other. So it was at 25 bucks, I think last night is what somebody told me. Unfortunately, I didn't get in until later. I didn't get in until around 30, 31, but still pretty high up there. And people, I mean, the only thing, the people that are spot trading Hydra are the only people that are actually selling Hydra. Everybody else that's staking Hydra is going to be holding on to Hydra. So, you know, the people that probably bought earlier in the game are probably the people that are looking at this right now and selling right now. And then I don't even know why they would sell, because they could just easily take that money and convert it over to the staking. Again, 138% what the rewards are right now. Again, it's daily rewards. So we go back here, you got dot staking as well. Your maximum 10,000, minimum just one. So hey, if you just have one dot, redemption period every 28 days. You got Luna, you got Kusama, you got Tron. I don't know what this one is. SYS. You got one. You got EOS. That's one. I'd probably I 0.06, even though it's 3.6%. I think EOS is getting ready to have its turn, especially with the redemption days every 3 days. I think staking is the way to go. I mean, and unless you're a leverage trader, and even if you're a leverage trader, hey, take those profits from your leverage trading, put those back into staking, right? So here we go. We got Tomo, we got Velo at 52.61%. Look at that. And redemption every 5 days, right? You would need at least 100 Velo though. It's gonna cost you about $500 something to get started. Atom, 8.4%. You would get at least 10 to start. ORN, 10 to start, 20%. KuCoin, need about 200 KuCoin to get started, which really isn't that bad. I think how much KuCoin is. I don't think it's that much. Give us here. KuCoin token versus Tether on KuCoin, $7. Okay, so it's $7. Oh, not wrong. So yeah, I would say just dig into these, look into PullX, and even link staking. Hey, can't go wrong with link staking. Even Algo is really cheap. If you've never looked at Algo before, Algo is maybe a couple bucks. Yeah, $1.35. $1.35, 35% or 0.66661 staking. I mean, if you just lined up all of these and just staked, you're gonna end up way better than if you were to staking is the way to go. take it over here to the news, right? Hold on one second before I take it over to the news here. That do is to news. It and I can get it to fit the screen because it's way too big for the screen right now. Too big. Okay. Lock that. Transition over. Alright, so forgot about Hydra. Especially the one that's offering 137%. I mean, look at 150% gain to but it is. I wanted. Is Hydra is, but it does. I read something on it earlier. Ranked way down there. Ranked way down there. 500. Let's see if CoinGecko. How did you get Pokemon at a Hydra? Price volume. Hydra is proof of stake blockchain and merged out of combination of Bitcoin and Ethereum and Qtum. Hydra runs the XO accounting model while supporting each as an so seems like a kind of combine multiple blockchain. By them saying, hey, out of your house. Point going. The volume's coming in 23. Link maybe hit coin.com. Press score. Everybody good. Rating it. Probably some way to probably not gonna know that it turned 37. I wanted to say that it had something to do with the gas prices, that it had a unique way of getting that API. The reason it was getting the API, it was because it was burning some gas fee coming with it. I was high. Find that holiday just heat always. All right, well, some other ones I guess we could take a look at. Transition back over to charts, maybe not some Bitcoin, maybe we could do some lower ones. I do want to check out my favorites to see what's going on. Looks like Cardano is trying to make its way back up. Was sitting around 119 for quite some time. Looks like it's gone up about 3 cents, about 121. Good thing. Especially if you're one of those ones that's been a Cardano bag holder for quite some time and own Cardano, and anytime it moves up and down, you know, feel it. I definitely felt it today whenever I saw it move up a little bit more up today, and trying to see where headed. Because even though it did have the high, it did break that high. It did break that high just temporarily, and it looks like we still have some more equal highs to break. I don't really see much liquidity down below. Yeah, I do see a little bit, but don't see it point to where it's going to be trying to drop down that low, especially now that we're seeing it trying to make a comeback. And here you can see it broke an intermediate high. You know, you had the low, high, then higher low. Here up at the top, probably have a mitigation point. Meaning once it gets above that point, that's going to be if we can get it above that point, then this will become more of the support area, and that's going to be around 124. Till then, we're probably going to see it kind of slide up and sideways. Till then, let's see going on with Raven Coin, still around 19 cents. Raven Coin, need to get going here, buddy. again, one of the ones I found at 5-6 cents. Jumped in, doubled, got to about 10-12. I jumped out. Fortunately, ran up until about 15-16. That's when I jumped back in. Up on given coin. Not as much as I want to be. I think this is ones that's still gonna possibly change at that trading, things of that. Filecoin finally hit the top. Hit a top. Definitely hit a top. Almost 4x from the area that I have here. Probably just before it made this high, and then it kind of fell down, and after that it broke that high. That's generally where I put my fibs, is at the bottom of those. High, you come down and you break a high, you bottom of there, kind of work with that. Back down, look, probably hit around the 60%. Got normal there. Not for sure. Looks like right now, especially if we're going to be looking at it from a technical standpoint, you want to take a look at Filecoin. Value gap. Anytime you see it reach into something like this, like a fair value gap, especially on a 15-minute chart, you can probably see some more bullish move out of it. Might see it come down maybe to the mid part of it, bullish action. And again, we do have this whole area right here that it, well, I wouldn't say it kind of ignored, because you have this high spot right here. You have kind of a fair value gap right in too as well, though. That is a 38. Could fall back to that. Does I think that would be another pull the trigger. I think Filecoin probably gonna end getting in somewhere in there. Last but not least, BDP. Again, new coin, becoming one of my favorites. Big data protocol. Anything with data, it's not. It's guys, get in before it gets big. You know, I got in around 30, 50, somewhere around there. That was probably somewhere around in this area. Didn't wait for it to drop. Could have waited for it to drop and got in a dollar mark, but then after that it just took off. As you can kind of moving around here, and that's just, and the way it looks is that these are just big bag holders, right? This isn't just a lot of people moving around money. These are These are small accounts. Older. You know, kind of playing the gambling game. They're seeing how high it gets. Then, all right, I'm just drop a bunch right here, buy a bunch again, and then wait till it gets here, and then just drop a bunch again. You buy a little bit, and then just drop a bunch again. You know, there's just a little bit of hands in this pot right now. Not a whole lot of hands in the pot of big protocol. If could be getting kicked off. P. Right, and then over to section 435, higher than the one that's offering 137 APY. Reason why Big Data Protocol Live. Governance token for the powers of value, commercially valuable data, but everybody wants. So, company is trying to, fortunately, may not be one of the best things, or you know, that you like, comes to trying to sell your data or trying to collect your data or anything like that. I'm not for sure exactly what they're doing with data, protecting data, anything like that. But I just know companies will pay billions and billions of dollars for data. That being said, Big Data Protocol, probably one of the ones to be out for, and never know what is going to happen whenever you get something like. So it's, why am I hitting transition and not the other button? It's working out very well for me here today. There we go. Okay, so let's get this Ethereum off the screen here. I don't even know why the screen, even though it's letting you know this was the scalping that I did today. Get a little bit of money, get a little bit ahead. But can't always do that forever. You can't always rely on scalping. You gotta rely on other things to make sure that you're doing the right thing. Anyways, again, my name is Ted, Bodies and Wicks. Thank you very much for joining me. If you have any questions, concerns, leave a comment in the comment section. Don't troll me. Don't say, hey, I know this guy who made me millions of dollars by doing this, and here's my WhatsApp number. Guess what? You're gonna be blocked. Even try to do it. To be honest, I almost feel like turning off comments, just because of people like that. It makes me so mad. There are some people there. makes me. Look at one chart breaking out of that. Okay, hey, all right, I'll take out one. I'll take a look at one chart. One I actually have been looking at one recently. I'm not mistaken, I win some, but yeah, the reason it's breaking out a downtrend. Looks like from whenever it all right, so here you have this high right here, right? Have this low was the reason breaking the high. There's your fib. Right, starts falling back. Where does it fall back into? The 88.6. Boom. There's your reason why it's probably starting to come out of it, because now it is at a discount, at a huge discount for any kind of institutional buyers, anybody that's trying to buy on the cheap. You know, they're not looking to buy up here, of course, especially once it makes a big run up. Nobody wants to chase you know, the FOMO. Everybody wants to wait until they finally get into a comfortable position to buy. And I think that's what's happened with one here. It looks like one has gotten to a comfortable position where people feel like they can start buying again. Again, you have a lot of liquidity points above here. Liquidity. You have a lot of areas to where one can continue start going up again. I think one is going to be good point in the future. If I'm not mistaken, get exactly what it does, but you know it does have some primary role in the ecosystem. Well, I do actually, before we get done, what I want to do is I've already showed you ADA, I've already showed you BDP, some other ones I wanted to take a look at would be Solano or Solana. And I think this is one of those ones that in the long run will be a very good token. So if you haven't got into Solana just yet, again, start doing your research, start doing your homework. I think this is going to be one of the ones. Right now it has been going sideways, but I think the reason it has been going sideways, and I think it's because we're getting ready to have a push up. So Solana being one of those, and if I were to say, if it were to start going anywhere or start looking at where start looking, right? So we had this high, we had this break. Unfortunately, haven't. No, this break did break this. Go from here. I'm not for sure. It is. I would say it has broken the high, but I'm not for sure. Stop. Stop, dude. There we go. So again, right above that high would be your 127%. So that's where I would be looking next. Be your $21 mark. Dollar with the mark. Then after that, again to 150, 2150 mark, and that I'd be looking at $22 mark. Mono, looking for it. I think it's one of those ones that it could be a game changer. And then Live Peer. Somebody told me about Live Peer the other day, and I jumped on it, and I don't even know why. I didn't even think twice, but I took Live Peer and I jumped on it, at $24.98. So I jumped on it way down here. 28 there. Okay, there go. There's where I jumped on Live Peer. Ever since then, it's taken off. So Live Peer, another one to be watching out for. No, I think it has something to do with kind of like a YouTube type thing, and instead of you know YouTube having control of who gets to stay, who gets the money, and things like that, Live Peer is going to be more peer-to-peer based. Whoever gets the most videos and watches and things like that, the crypto is going to go toward them, the content creators, not going to be big conglomerate. Live Peer is going kind of like the YouTube alternative. Of course, I already went out of Ravencoin. Kimchi. Kimchi, I just thought it was a great idea. I think it has to do with staking sushi, if I'm not mistaken. But for some reason it's not one that come up. Going up. So why? But kimchi, look into kimchi. I got in at 4 cents. Basically 4.5 cents. It got all the way up to 9 cents at one point. It's now back down to 7.8 cents. Ken, I don't know what it is with Ken. This has something to do with Kick. Oh, this isn't even showing, is it? Oh, here we go. This has something to do with Kick. From users from Kick are for some reason to exchange tokens. For some reason, I don't know what it is. But I got in around 0.00025. So got in around 0.00025. 0.03. So making some leeway on there. Um, Again, not for sure what it is. Will kick making a comeback, but they're using crypto to be doing some things. And so basically that is my portfolio. Oh yeah, other than see here, my Coinbase one, I got a couple in Coinbase as well, which would be EOS. I think EOS is going to have its time. I really do. And I think EOS, yeah, as you can see, it's starting to rise up. EOS has been, you know, down here for way too long, and I think now EOS is finally starting to think a lot of people are starting to build their programs off of EOS. I know they just got a grant for about half $500,000 to continue some projects that they've been working on, things like that. And another one that I've been checking out, and I'm not for sure if this is a good call or not, but it was Anchor. Anchor is on Coinbase. It can be traded. If I'm not mistaken, it's in the NFP space, and we'll just have to turn zero. Anyways, these are the ones that that I have been looking at, calling, buying, try to expand my portfolio. So far, a lot of them have been growing, and they have been growing, you know, a lot, because I haven't been putting thousands and thousands of dollars in, putting, you know, $50 to $100 into each of them. So, you know, every little bit counts. And not heard of Pi app, not Pi the actual like coin. There's an app called Pi which allows you to mine crypto from your phone, and they're about to stop minting new users. So if you want to become a user that's going to be able to mint this crypto from your phone before it becomes a real thing, I would suggest getting on that. Link is in the description. And else do it. I just want to know what's going on with Tron. That stuff's going crazy. And you know what? I did all this just talking, and I didn't even realize I didn't realize I didn't even have my browser open. So transition browser, here we go. Here's one. Looking at one right now. Here, let's look at one. Reason that we were looking at one, it was because it was coming down. Oh, it actually just dropped. So it was looking good, and now it just dropped within the last 5 minutes. Oh, not for sure about one. We're talking about BDP. Again, look into this. You know, it is starting to grow. It's a very, very brand new coin. I don't know if we got to check out file or see how far I thought it was going to go. I really don't know how far file is going to go. I think it's going to get somewhere up in the hundreds. ADA, again, trying to get above 124. Get above 124, that could act as support. Raven coin, still on the chill side. It